Hey everyone, welcome back. It's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna start off with a good movie, then I'm gonna review three bad movies, and they're gonna be ranks. If you like the films, I'm not gonna knock you for your opinion. But as you can read, the first movie, and you can see it's a review from the title. Um, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this film, at least in a positive way. Rainbow Afterlife, I think he didn't mind it, or I think he didn't really care a whole lot for it. I thought it was alright. Tobe Hooper shows that he's lost his luster, but I I feel it was a pretty cool idea. Granted, the idea's been done before. The the fact that a plant is causing the virus. Um, for those who don't know what the cover of Mortuary looks like, there it is. This is the only one I'm going to be reviewing at this point in time of this set. Um, okay, let me see the info for this. A family takes over a long abandoned funeral home only to discover that something evil lurks there. We need a lot more information than that because those when I saw the cover of this and uh, I read the back of the case, I thought it was going to be a zombie film. But no, it's kind of a possession film. Like the plants possess people. Well, they're not really plants, they're roots that, like, I'm going to call them the devil's roots. They pretty much take the form of a human being, like, once it takes the form of that human being is no longer human. So it's got that John Carpenter's The Thing going on. It's got that kind of premise. Now, John Carpenter's The Thing is way better, but this movie has a soft spot in my heart. It's not one of my favorite movies, but I can watch it. It starts off, we've got this family in a car. It's a little girl who reminds me a little bit of Danielle Harris, if Danielle Harris was still a little girl. Um, I forget his name. It's the same guy who plays in the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. Um, it's Dan Burton. He did a capable job in this film. Granted, not much to work with, but take what you can get. Um, and Mortuary, it starts off, we've got this family, they're talking about how happy they're going to be in this new house, and the Dan Bird's character, he's a teenager, he's like really upset, he doesn't really want to be there, and he's like, really, it's a goddamn mortuary. Not the exact lines, but he might as well have said that. Really, really, it's a goddamn mortuary. Do you really want to live with a mortuary under our house? And I'm like, well, he does have a good point, because usually in horror movies, if something involves a mortuary, cemetery, or crematorium, zombies or undead are about to happen. But like I said, not really zombies, they're more possession. Not really demons either. Like they talk, and uh, what happens is they get into the house and they start moving in, and the police officer knocks on the door. says hello to the mom, and he's crushing on the mom, and we get our first body. It's a fat man, really husky fellow. Um, Gets put on the slab. She puts the embalming fluid in, but forgets to put the other end to connect it so that the embalming fluid can go out, well, go in, and the blood go out. Well, the blood and the embalming fluid go all over the floor and pretty much embalms the dead body, but at the same time, in some way, brings it back to life, and it wraps around the root, and the root comes alive and possesses the dead body. And I'm just like, oh shit. That's what I gathered from it. And then Dane Bird ends up trying to find a job and trying to make some friends, and he meets this girl. Stephanie Patton. Damn, that was Bug Hall? Damn, I didn't even recognize him. Uh, but anyways, uh, he ends up meeting this girl, and at first you think she's got a boyfriend because this guy and her are hanging out. Well, he's gay, which I don't mind. Homosexuality is good. Male or female, bisexuality, go for it. I don't judge people on sexual orientation. I don't judge people at all because we're going to be judged in the afterlife. Yes, I do believe in God, but I am not religious. You do not have to be religious to believe in God in my house. Okay. Anyways, what ends up happening? These two assholes. Uh, First, they're picking on Dan Bird's character, and uh, the girl Dan Bird happens to like, and they end up going to the cemetery to have sex, like most horror movies, and they end up disturbing a crypt and bring a dude back to life. I don't remember how, but he comes back to life. Bobby Fowler is the guy's name, and he is on the cover. Granted, he looks a little bit different, but you can tell that's him on the cover. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Coffin Baby from uh, Tobe Hooper's other film, the Toolbox Murders, the remake Toolbox Murders. Um, I think it might actually be the same guy too. Um, he Bobby Fowler, the character, he's not really all that violent. He just wants a friend, but because of his look, he's he pretty much kills people because they make fun of him. And I like that aspect of a killer. You don't get a killer who's, I mean, you get movies where a kid gets bullied and then goes out for revenge. This one gets bullied and kills for the fun of it. And I'm just like, oh shit. So the killer in this is pretty cool. Um, and the thing about these roots, salt hurts it. Like salt disintegrates the roots. So I thought that was pretty cool. And pretty much one after another, people get turned into root people, is what I'm gonna call them. And the final shot, I'm gonna spoil the ending. They throw the salt, a big, a big container of salt, into the core of the and into the core of the roof, which happens to be underneath the house, throws it in, it explodes in CGI. They get out of there, and uh, Dan Bird's laying on the in the yard, and the plant root comes out and grabs him, and the little girl is screaming, the teenage girl is screaming, and Dan Bird is screaming, and then the mother ends up coming out with blood on her face, and then end credits, and I'm like, really? Did they have to give it a sequel date ending? I mean, thank goodness they didn't make a sequel that I know of, because this this movie does not need a series. I'm happy with it just being one. It's an alright movie, but not really one of my favorites. It's got a special place in my heart, right next to the Terratoons 2, except for this is better than Terratoons 2 in better budget. Um, it's rated R for violence and gore, brief sexuality, nudity. The only scene of nudity I remember is the fat guy, the fat dead guy, and language. I think I only heard fuck in once and damn a couple times. But overall, I would give this, because it's not as bad as people say, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Not great, but it definitely could have been better. Um, so hopefully you all enjoyed this review. Again, this was a review, not a rant. So sorry for the spoilers, but how can I review this without spoiling anything? So, anyways, I'll be back in a little bit with a review of a movie that sucks.